It was mid 18th century and the poets were tired of new classical ideals of reason and wit. These new classical poets such as Alexander Pope, they favored order, clarity, refinement and decorum. And this new classical age was an age of wit and style. This age contrasts greatly with Romantic age, an age of revolt against neoclassical age. The poets of this age expressed emotions. They preached a return to nature. They left behind the city side and they traveled back to the simple countryside. And rustic life, humble people of countryside, all these became their subjects. These poets are known as transitional poets. Hello friends, welcome to my channel ELS English Literature Studies with Kaur Harpreet. Today I will discuss one more transition poet, that is Robert Burns. And these transitional poets include William Blake, Robert Burns and other transitional poets are already discussed in my previous video. A link will be provided in the description box, and if you are new to my channel, please watch those videos. Link will be given. And today I will talk about Robert Burns. So let us start with Robert Burns, who is a Scottish poet and songwriter and whose time period is 1759 to 1796. Robert Burns was a Scottish poet, frequently counted as a romantic poet. But his works also makes him a transition poet, as it incorporates both neoclassical and romantic verse ideals. That is why he is known as a transition poet. He is also known as Scotland's national poet. He is recognized in the world for his work focusing on universal themes of love and nature. He has an important influence on the early romantic movement, and he also influenced poets like William Wordsworth, S.T. Coleridge and P.B. Shelley, and he also influenced Scottish writers later on. Burns' style is marked by spontaneity, sincerity and directness. And like William Blake, he was a born poet but with the gift of poetry for more comprehensiveness, intensive, humane, which gave a place him among the great poets of the world. He came to fame as a poet when he was only 27 years old, and his lifestyle of wine, women and song made him famous all over Scotland. He was forced to work as a farm labourer. He had to work at a variety of labouring jobs, but in his spare time he began to compose poetry and songs. His first work was published under the title Poems Chiefly in the Scottish Dialect. This work was published in 1786, and these included works such as To a Mouse and The Holy Fair. The success of this publication encouraged him to remain in Scotland. He became a national hero. His financial position also improved after the second edition of this volume. He collected a rich diversity of Scottish folk songs, sometimes improving upon them, and also included his own in it. He devoted himself to the composition of songs, which he contributed to magazines and various collections of songs, which were published as the Scots Musical Museum, right? And which was written in 5 volumes. His poems he wrote in a mixture of English and Scottish Lowland dialect also. His poems made him famous and his songs made him immortal. And when we talk about his skill of writing, he was skilled in writing in Scots language as well as in Scottish English dialect of the English language. In his works, The Jolly Beggars is written both in Scottish and English for various effects. His use of dialects gave his readers a sense of connection to the common man and humble subjects of his poetry, and this created a level that would have been lost in the heroic couplet which was used by the new classical writers, right? And these transitional poets like Thomas Gray, William Blake, and all these are discussed in previous videos. And this one, Robert Burns, these poets dared changes through the use of unconventional devices such as dialect. These changes in words and their transitional poetry marked the end of the new classicism. What more to talk about these transitional poets? These poets were no longer afraid to feel, and they were brave ones who expressed their profound feelings for mankind in general. But when we talk especially about Robert Burns, his use of Scottish dialect was a great departure from the elegant and artificial diction of 18th century poetry. He is chiefly known as and admired in the world because of his songs. His genius was essentially lyrical, and the second quality of his genius is his good humor. This is best known in his famous poems when we talk about Tam O'Shanter, the Jolly Baggers, and the Holly Willis Player. He is one of the great humorists of the world. His poetry is intensely personal and full of self revelation, right? The main characteristics or main features of his poetry include his feeling for nature, humor, and above all, his humanity. His careful observation and delicate appreciation of natural scenes may be seen in his works like The Lingering Star, The Banks of Doon to a Mouse, right? And he was not a satiric properly, but he had the satiric vein, which is best exhibited in his comic poem Holy Willie's Prayer. Then he sympathized. When we talk about his nature, we can say that his humor is good natured, and on that account more effective in his poems. And he sympathizes not only with the humanity but with living creatures. His style is perfectly plain, but this style he acquired, his this style we can say acquired great pains and patience. Matthew Arnold denied Burns a place in the front rank of poets on the ground of this point that because of his excessive devotion to Scottish drink, religion, and Scottish manner, Matthew Arnold denied him a front position in the ranks of poets, right? But this narrow judgment has never been overruled by the literary world at large, and during his lifetime, he was a political writer and was considered a radical. He was moved by the events of the French Revolution and call for equality. He was moved by this theme. After his death, his reputation blossomed and he became an icon of Scottish culture. On that behalf, he was denied by Matthew Arnold, but he became an icon of Scottish culture. He died in 1796 because of fever, and he was buried in Michael's Dumfries. During his lifetime, we can say he was well known, but gained little financial compensation for his works, and he constituted himself as a mouthpiece of the growing faith of his time in liberty, equality, and fraternity. So, friends, this is all about Robert Burns. I hope you will like the content, and if you like it, please hit the like button. It will give moral support, and it will cost nothing to you. And share and subscribe my channel. And if you are new on my channel, please hit the bell button so that you can get notifications for my upcoming videos. And thanks a lot for your love and support, and thanks a lot for watching.